Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is that you are viewing this particular broadcast. Want to welcome you to Walk in the Path Travel with none other than me, Lady V. And I have my guest for this evening, just a very good friend of mine, California girl, author, mother, life coach. I can just kind of say my bestie. I have my guest here, which is Chelsia McCoy. Hello, my sister.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
I am excited. I am excited. We have been, well, first of all, we've just been through a lot together.
Yes.
A lot together. My very first time meeting you was right after I'd gone through the death of my husband, and 6 months before you had gone through the death of your husband.
Yes.
And that's how God just bound us together, and we have just been besties ever since then.
It's been a blessing.
I know.
It has been a blessing, and I know because of COVID and everything, we don't see each other as much or talk as much, but when we get together, it's as if nothing's ever happened.
I know. And one thing about it, I can truly say, no matter what goes on, we literally have one another's back.
Yes.
And we can be able to stand with one another in prayer. Our meeting this evening it's not about best friends, but that's still a good place to be. Being able to speak about how supportive we all need to be as friends or acquaintances. But it's really about how you can be able to speak and be able to make a difference.
Yes.
How you can be able to speak and make a difference. And I say that because for me with Chelsia, that's what I know that she does. Her voice sometimes will be quiet and her voice will be bold, but whatever it is that she has to say, it is making a difference. As I said, she's a California girl, brought here from Houston, mother, author, life coach. And I just wanted her to come here this evening and tell her story and just let you guys know how wonderful God has been in her life, even through some different things that, we walked through. My program here is talking about the path that the walk in the path that you travel. So many of us have gone through so many different areas, as we said, death, losing spouses, losing family members, having to be able to pick up and move, all of those kind of things. Those kind of things can be very detrimental.
Yes.
And so we still have to go on.
No choice.
Still got to go on. We became very, very excited with, I want to just talk about the author side right now. When you called me up and say, sis, guess what? And I was like, what? And so we were talking about the very first book. And I was like, oh, really? Wow, okay. And so it's When
the Soul Cries.
Sure.
Matter of fact, this is it here.
Yeah.
When the Soul Cries. And it's a collaboration, actually. It's not me by myself, but me and 16 other women. We have come together to tell our story. And they're short stories, but we talk about trauma, things that happen to us, and the tears. And then after the trauma, after the tears, comes the triumph, because now we're still standing to tell the story.
Right.
And the book, this was out a year ago, but the most amazing thing, which I don't think I shared this with you. Last year, and we went to Boston.
No.
And we did a documentary, a video documentary.
Oh, how awesome.
It wasn't all of us. 10 of us were able to make that trip. However, Thanksgiving this year, or the day after, Friday, November 27th, our story will be told.
Awesome.
On Amazon Prime Video.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yes.
Girl.
So we are super, super excited. So for those of you that have Amazon Prime, your Amazon Prime members, tune in Amazon Prime Video on Friday, November 27th. That's Black Friday. So take a break from your shopping and watch When the Soul Cries. You'll get to see me tell parts of the story.
How awesome.
So I'm super excited.
And this is pretty neat because you said it's how many ladies?
17 of us total.
Now, here's the thing. Did any of you ladies know one another?
No, we knew the lady who was putting the project together. That's it.
And so she contacted you guys because of...
She contacted us. Well, she had put some things on social media asking, hey, anybody want to tell their story? Anybody want to tell their story? And so she said she had a lot of women that responded. Right. But as she began to go into detail about really what the project was going to be about, women, no, I'm not really ready for that yet. No, I'm not really ready for that yet. And even though I'm an open book, if someone asks me something, I have no problem sharing it. None. It is a little different when it's one thing talking to your girlfriend or your family member or even a church member or sitting in front of a small group. But now this book is global.
Internationally.
It's been translated in Spanish. So, and now we're about to be on screen. It's different.
Wow.
It's different. So we're excited. I'm nervous. I've had people ask me, are you sure? You wanted to put this out there? Because what the story is about, it's actually what happened from my first husband when I got married at 16, very young, to that divorce and separation. And then I go into what happened when I relocated from California to Texas, remarried, and then my husband passed away. So it's very personal, very traumatic. However, none of those things happened and they made me into who I am right now. So just as you and I were talking just earlier before the recording, God wastes nothing. That's true. And what we think may not matter, what we think, nobody's gonna need to know that, or I'm ashamed of that. God says no, because the very thing that you think doesn't count, it's another sister who needs to hear what you went through, because she needs to know that she's got a way out.
And be able to get pulled up out of the pit.
She needs to know who I am. Maybe she doesn't even have a relationship with me. But you can tell it. And when her soul cries, then she can talk about it and get to that place of triumph.
Wow, I like that. And I really like the term that you said, God wastes nothing. That's something else.
It is. I had to learn that, especially after losing my husband, and then really feeling shameful after the divorce and the separation of my first husband. Because I asked God, I said, okay, I'm not even 45 years old yet, and I'm divorced and a widow. Like this what we doing, God? I really had to ask him that. And I'm a single parent now. How does this work? This wasn't in the handbook. Who do I talk to? What do I do? And God said, trust me. He just kept saying, keep your eyes on me, stay focused. Don't lose sight. Because remember what I told you years ago. Remember, and it's almost like he took me back to like what they tell people in the military, your basic training. Fall back on that basic training.
Wow.
Go back to the word. Go back to what you know that you know. And then I'll guide you along the way. So he began to just really plant, just the scriptures that we grew up with, as little girls. Your word is a light unto my feet and a lamp unto my path. And it began to resonate and speak differently to my spirit, because it's like, okay, when it's dark and I really can't see my way, his word is the light unto my feet and the lamp unto my path.
And with that, something just came to my mind when you said that. When you say it's dark. When it's dark, literally, spiritually, your body has a different language. You're slumped. Your head is actually down. And it just dawned on me because whenever I would say that particular scripture, I'm thinking looking straight ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But most times when you're down, you literally your head is down.
Yeah, you're looking
at
down.
your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, your head is down at your feet. So you definitely need that guidance that's there.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's like your feet would have the flashlight that's there and actually being the light to the path.
Yes, ma'am. And the scripture that I think really carried me through a lot of those times, in addition to that one, was Psalm 91. He that dwells in a secret place shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
Yes.
And Psalms 23:4. Yea, though I walk through the valley. And he would always have me pause at the through part.
Right.
Through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And I said, well, God, why didn't you have me stop or pause at through? He said, because I need you to remember you're not staying here. He said, look at the words in that that one thing. Yea, though I walk. He said, walk. What does walk mean? He said, that means you're moving.
Yeah, it's forward moving.
Forward, walking through. So through means, he said, through. That's not
around
staying.
in a circle. It's not standing still.
No. He said, but you're continually in motion. You're walking through. And he said, and then look at that word, the shadow. He said, a shadow's not real, is it? He said, a shadow's not real.
I love that one.
So as he began to break that down, it got a little easier, and it got a little easier. And I would just tell myself, I'm walking through.
Yeah.
Because the Lord is my shepherd. And I don't have to want for anything because he's got me.
Ooh, Lord have mercy.
He's got me. And the days, not to say they weren't challenging.
Yeah.
Not to say they weren't hard.
Yeah.
And there's been some tears.
Yeah.
There's been some tear-soaked pillows. There's been some nights where I just say, Lord, you know what? I can't even pray right now because I'm just, it's so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he just say, daughter, but I'm still here. Stay in the secret place.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And see, these are the things that we talk about when we get together. Being able to help you on whatever your path that is that you're traveling. These are the things that you out there, the viewing audience, you're hearing what my sister's talking about. You're hearing some of the things that she was like for real with God. And we're thinking, I can't tell God that. Well, if it is inside of you and it's hurting you, you need to get that stuff out.
You have to. It'll eat away at you if you don't.
Exactly. We talk about how sickness comes. That's a lot of times how it comes.
Stress.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we don't recognize it. Before in 2014, I realized I needed to take care of myself because I just wasn't feeling well.
Okay.
And I said, what is going? Actually, started in 2013. And I said, something's not right. I don't feel good. I was constantly tired. But then what really got it was I noticed my hair was falling. My hair was breaking off.
Wow.
And my skin wasn't
The same.
glow. And, I said, I'm stressed. The kids, the family, work. I'm just really, really stressed. Come to find out, I was anemic and had lost so much blood, I had to have a blood transfusion.
No.
And the doctor said, Miss McCoy, did you not know that you weren't feeling well? I said, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I work full time.
Yeah.
I don't have time to sit and think.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have time to think about that. And she said, well, did you notice these patterns? Did you notice this? Yeah, but you just think that's really where we left it. And come to find out, I was anemic and had lost that much blood. We had to have a blood transfusion, 2 pints.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am. And it turned out they said, no, we're going to have to do a hysterectomy because then they went and found out there were some other internal things going on. So, I tell women, check on yourself.
Yeah.
Self-care. It's something that we talk about so much now, but please take care of yourself. If something's not right and you're not feeling the way you need to feel, even if it's therapy, just take care of yourself.
Exactly.
And therapy was another thing that helped me through a lot. After my father passed in 2012 and my husband passed in 2016, it was a lot. It was a lot. And then, just like you said, the death of a spouse is something that you can't even begin to
Yeah.
describe.
Yeah.
I'm sure for those that have lost a child, or those that have lost any parental figure or a guardian, someone very close, it's something you literally cannot describe until it's
hit you.
Till it hits you.
And you and your husband have been married 13?
We have been married 8 years, but together for 13.
Okay. Yeah, and then you guys already had a son.
Yes, our son together, we had a blended family. However, we had one son together, and he was 5 at the time he passed away. And so he's 9 now. He'll be 10 in February. But that's been challenging because now as he's getting older, it's starting to hit him differently. My dad's not here.
Right.
And of course, school and the other little kids, exactly, where's my dad? My dad is not going to take me out to go to the store or go play basketball or, whatever it is.
May I ask you, you and I were talking as we were coming in, and I was saying this is something that more people need to be aware of, or more mothers need to be aware of. Without too much in the sense of putting Jonathan out there, share with him. Would you share with us what he was frustrated and he needed to talk?
He was, and I have 3 kids. Jonathan is my youngest. He's 9. And he's just, of course, all kids, for those of you that have multiple children, you understand every child is different.
Right.
Their personalities are all individual. But he told me, he said, Mom, I need to talk. And I said, okay. And I said, well, what's going on? I'm just tired of everything. I'm tired of this. And I said, okay, what are we tired of? And he just said, just everything. And he began, I said, well, let's break it down. Let's take one thing at a time and be able to, address it. Exactly.
So then you guys got an opportunity to take one thing at a time. And the reason why I ask you to do that, because I truly feel that someone's that will be watching this broadcast, that they're going through the very same thing. And the kids are coming up and they're noticing the craziness. They're going through the craziness instead of breathing and listening to ask specific questions. Because children get frustrated. They have anxieties. They have things that trouble them.
Yes.
And we will turn around and say, oh, you're too little for that. No. That's a live being. So they have issues. Their issues are just not our issues or as big as ours, but they have issues.
They do. And he actually talked to me about school. Mom, well, I don't like that I'm not at school right now.
Wow.
So we had to talk about coronavirus. And, it's good we talked about it because he thought that I didn't have him at school because of, some friends or some situations like that.
And he didn't even understand why he was even at
And
school.
I told him, I said, no. I said, you're not at school because of the coronavirus. I said, people were still getting very sick. I said, that's the reason why they allowed parents to have the option. He said, oh, okay, all right, I'm going to go watch TV now.
So that made sense. It's amazing what goes on in their little minds. Yeah. It's kind of neat at this particular time that we're kind of having this little girl talk, going from the author now to the mother.
Yes.
Let's deal with a couple of other books that's going on here, my sister.
Well, let's see. Shortly after my husband passed away, well, let me back up. Before he passed, he and I started writing a book together. And when he passed away, the book, of course, was not complete. And I asked God, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? This was a joint project.
Right.
And he said, well, you have everything you need. Just go ahead and finish it.
Wow.
And I said, well, how do I have everything I need? He's not here. Yeah. And he said, don't worry. He said, I'll give you everything. You're going to finish this book. Okay. So Hand on the Closet was birthed. And this was released in 2018. And this is actually a book about effective communication within marriage and relationships.
Oh, wow. No wonder you had the question.
Yeah. And this is another one that is very vulnerable because I'm literally telling our story about the communication problems that we had. how we did not get along and how our marriage suffered. And other people that we knew were having some of the very same issues because they just didn't know how to talk to each other.
Wow.
And no one had the patience. No one had the vulnerability with be in between each other to just say, babe, can we change the tone of our voice? Or, I would appreciate it if maybe let's discuss before we make a decision. Things of that, and things that we tend to overlook. So from this book birthed my my actual, God began to pour and help me to see what my real calling is, which is communication. So this birthed Say It Right, which is a new series. So I'm actually working on volume 2 right now. Say It Right at Work. And there's going to be Say It Right with your kids. There's going to be Say It Right with girlfriends. We're even exploring Say It Right at church. Because there's so many settings that we don't know how to talk. And it's not that we are dumb or ignorant. Sometimes we just need some skills on how to form our words and how to really understand how effective communication can make a difference. And that was really birthed because before he passed away, my husband, he would say, I'm a communicator. I know I'm a communicator. And I said, you're right. We're all communicators. Are you effective? Because if you're talking to me one way and I'm not receiving what you're saying, then what you said wasn't effective. Because it wasn't, you had an expectation on how it was supposed to be received and I didn't receive it that way. Or I said something to you and I had an expectation on how you should have received it and you didn't receive it.
And some of that, when we've gone through our life coaching, they talked about active listening.
Yes, very much. Yes.
And active communication.
Yes.
So basically you can say a whole lot and someone is sitting there and it sounds like, what was the cartoon? Maybe Tom and Jerry, where it's going wah wah wah.
Charlie Brown.
Yeah, okay, Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown. Yes.
So that's exactly what it would sound like. The person looking and you're waiting for a response.
Yeah.
And the person, they are trying to be able to get it, and you're like, okay, what?
What's the problem?
Yeah. You can hear what I'm saying, and it's like, are you listening?
And even body language. Body language is huge. And that was one thing that I realized in writing those books. I was the one who could get very defensive. And because I didn't want to hear it. I found out about myself, criticism is difficult for me. But it's the way you present it. You can say it in a way that, okay, no, I didn't really want to hear it, but the way you brought it, I got it. It wasn't easy for me to hear, but I get it. But if you bring it in a way, like sometimes we would get into disagreements and he would just, boom, just come. And then I'm
Let
like,
me tell you what your problem is.
Exactly. And I'm like, I don't receive that way. I said, and we began to talk about things. And I said, can you sandwich it? And he said, sandwich?
What do you
Yeah, he
mean?
said, you talking about food? No. I said, you say something positive, and then you bring in the negative, and then you cancel it or close it out with something positive, like a sandwich, 2 pieces of bread, and you're filling in the middle. I don't talk like that.
Oh, wow.
So hence, this is where these things came from. And so it really helped me. And even my daughter called me out. Mom, you wrote that book, Say It Right, but you didn't say it to me right.
And
Touche.
I like the way you said sandwich it, because I've always said, okay, do the math. You need 2 positives, to cancel out 1 negative. But that's a real neat way to be able to say sandwich it.
Yeah, just sandwich it. And, we would laugh about it, but God has allowed me to reflect on those moments.
Awesome.
And now I see the errors that I made.
Wow.
And where I fell short, what I should have done, what I could have done. And some things were deliberate. I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk to him right or in love, because he didn't talk to me in love. And of course, God is like, that's not how it works. But we know that flesh will rise up, and we have to know how to tell the flesh, stand down.
Yeah, because our feelings get all off into it.
Oh my goodness.
Feelings and emotions get all off into.
But I'm better now. I'm better now. I'm better now.
So with that better now, we have maybe a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
What's next, my dear love? What is coming up next?
Well,
what has happened in your life?
Okay, well, first, I have a new business.
Okay.
So, because of the books, of course, and my love of writing, I am a book writing coach.
Awesome.
So, Your Writing Table has been developed, which is a division of YWT Communications.
Okay.
And so, I'm a book writing coach.
Awesome.
So, if you're anyone who's watching the broadcast, if you're interested in telling your story, you have a book that you're writing, you're interested in writing a book, or I have editing services. If you've written something and it needs to be edited, you need some proofreading, some grammar checks, I can totally help you with that. I would be honored to help you with that. And I'm also getting ready to start getting into ghostwriting. So you want to write a book, but you just don't have time.
Yeah.
I can help you with ghostwriting and technical writing. If you have a business and you have business documents, professional documents that need to be looked at or created or content for your social media,
awesome.
I can help you. So I've got that going on, and God has given me another chance at life and love. So
awesome.
He's blessed me with someone quite special. And so that's why I say I'm better now. But the communication is really, it's where it needs to be.
Right.
And I'm seeing now what things I wasn't ready for.
Okay.
I wasn't ready. And so now.
Here's the fact, you were grown.
Mm-hmm.
But there were still some things that you weren't cooked. In other words, I like to be able to say it because it's like, one of my friend girls many years ago, she, when I was going through the divorce and the years of divorce, she said, Lady V, whomever your husband is, he's still in the oven. he ain't done yet. He ain't done yet.
I love it.
He ain't done yet.
Mm-mm.
So I kind of like that little difference.
Yeah, that was me. I wasn't fully cooked.
Yeah.
I thought I was, because I stepped out. Oh yeah, I got this.
And this is how many of us are. I like the way that Chelsia said that I needed to realize that what my faults were, what I hadn't done, what I needed to do, instead of pointing the finger at someone else. Well, this is wrapping it up for our broadcast this particular week. I want to thank you for being here. We would love to see you again next week on Walking the Path Travel, here with me, Lady V. See you next week. Bye.